Hey guys, first of all, congratulations on completing your first 2 weeks of your Bend Your Bod challenge. I'm hoping that you can hear me because as soon as I came outside to set up my yoga video, it's starting to get really windy out, but we're gonna roll with it. Yeah, but you guys are awesome. I love seeing all of your pictures, and if you're not doing the Bend Your Bod challenge, you just want to do some yoga, that's awesome too. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting out a lot of new yoga videos, a lot of new stuff. So yeah, we're going to get started today in our child's pose. So how this is going to go, I'm going to incorporate all the poses that we did in the first 2 weeks of our Bend Your Bod challenge. They might be slightly out of order, but I'll make sure we hit all of them. So we're going to start in our child's pose. So for your child's pose, you're going to come to your hands and your knees. Now, I definitely prefer a wide-legged child's pose, so that's bringing your knees about as wide as your mat. You can bring your toes together to touch, and you're singing your heels back, singing your hips back to your heels. You're walking your arms out and trying to drop your chest and your belly to the mat. Now, I prefer wide-legged child's pose because when I take my normal child's pose, which is knees together, my boobs and my tummy don't really have much place to go, so this is way more uncomfortable for me. But whatever works for you and your body, find that position. So come into your child's pose. You can close your eyes here. And just start to bring your awareness to your breath. So like I said, we're listening to our body. We're doing what our body can do. We're finding our edge, but we're not pushing ourselves to the point of like pain or where it hurts. We want to make sure we check in with our body. What does our body need today? So in your child's pose, you're bringing your awareness to your breath. I want you to just thank your body and thank yourself for showing up to your mat today. Thank your body for doing all this yoga and all the things that it does. So when we bring our awareness to our breath, you want to literally envision your breath as it goes in and out through your nose. Our breath is what brings us to the present, to our mat. I want you to forget about anything that you have to do after this. Forget about anything that you were doing before this. Whatever you're worried about, just breathe and let it go and bring it to your mat, to the present. So picture in your mind your breath as it goes in and out through your nostrils while you're in this child's pose. And just breathe, not changing anything about your breath, just checking in. We're not attaching judgment. If your body feels funky, just let yourself feel that. You don't have to attach emotion to it. We'll spend about 4 more breaths here, again in and out through your nose. When you're ready, I want you to slowly press up to your hands and your knees. So we're going to take a couple of poses here that aren't part of the challenge, but I just like to include because I want this to be like a full yoga class. So we're going to take some cat-cows here. So from your tabletop position, your shoulder, elbow, wrists are directly in line. Your hips are going to stay over your knees. We're just going to take some cat-cows here. So on your inhale, you arch the spine, you open up the chest, your gaze goes up, chin goes up. Exhale, you round everything, tuck the hips under, drop the chin to the chest, dome out the shoulders. Inhale to open up. Exhale to round. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round. Now take about 5 more rounds of this on your own breath. You can go as fast or as slow as you need to go. You can take any other movements here that feel good. If you want to rock your hips from side to side, if you want to shake out your head, you can even roll over your wrists a little bit. Again, we're listening to our body. What does your body need right now? And finish up the round you're on. Return to a neutral spine here. So we're going to find our side plank here. I know you're like, oh my God, side plank right now? That's like, it's too early for side plank, but don't worry. We're gonna start with the very most basic modification of side plank. So I'm gonna start with my left side just so you can see what I'm doing. So you're kicking out your left leg to the side like it's a little kickstand just from the knee. You're shifting all of your weight over to your left hand and extending that right leg out. You're gonna open up that right arm, and maybe you can lift that right foot. If not, you can totally keep it on the ground, no worries. Maybe you take it to a full side plank here. So what that looks like, you're straightening the bottom leg. Take any variation here that you like. Again, this is the most basic option. Please feel free to stay here. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. Start to shift back into your tabletop. We'll go ahead and take it to the other side. So you're kicking out that right leg like it's a little kickstand. Bring all your weight into the right hand, opening up. Maybe you lift up those back toes, flex the foot. Maybe you come all the way to your full side plank on this side. Whatever feels good for you and your body today. Please enjoy the noise of the most annoying bird ever in existence. Oh, it stopped as soon as oh nope, there it goes. It's mad. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and come back to your tabletop. So from here, we knocked out our side plank, we got our puppy pose, our child's pose. We're gonna take puppy pose. So your puppy pose is set up similar to your child's pose, but this time we're keeping your hips over your knees. So child's pose, we sink the hips back. This time we're keeping the hips over the knees. Okay, go ahead and walk your hands out. So the goal is to drop your chest to the mat. If that's something that's uncomfortable for you, if you have very tight chest and shoulders, you can always put a block underneath you. You can put a blanket underneath you, a pillow, anything that's going to prop yourself up. You can also do this with a chair. So essentially you have the chair in front of you and you can put your arms on the chair and just kind of press your head and your chest in between your arms. Lots of options here, guys. We're going to hold this for about 5 breaths. When the pose starts to get intense and when you start to really feel it, that's when I want you to bring it back to your breath. So again, visualizing your breath as it goes in and out through your nose. When it starts to, when you're in that pose, you're like, oh my God, I hate this pose. Those are the poses we need most, right? Just a couple more breaths here. When you're ready, go ahead and gently press back up to your table. We're going to go right into our frog pose here. So that was our pose today. It's set up very similar to puppy pose, except this time your knees are wide. So you can bring your knees about as wide as your mat or even wider. You want to make sure your feet are directly underneath your knees. So you're forming a 90-degree angle here. And then again, same setup, dropping your chest to the mat. If you can't come all the way down, you can come to your forearms, you can come to a block. Again, whatever is comfortable for you and your body. This is a really intense hip stretch. If this is too intense for you, you can always just take a wide-legged child's pose, but this one really gets into our hips. Just 2 more breaths here. When you're ready to release from this pose, you can bring your feet in a little bit more to touch and just push back to your heels, coming back up to your tabletop position. From your tabletop, we're going to find our downward facing dog, another one of our poses. So you're going to tuck your toes. You're going to inhale, lift your hips up and back. to the wall behind you, finding that downward facing dog. So for your downward dog, the goal is always to get the heels down to the mat. I've always been self-conscious because I've never been able to do that because I have really short legs and really tight hamstrings, so don't feel bad if you can't. You're not a failure at yoga if you can't. It's just every body is different, you know? We all have different length hamstrings. What you want to keep in mind here is keeping your head in between your shoulders, keeping a straight spine. So your head and your hips should be in one straight line. If you want to get a little bit deeper, you can bend into your knees and press your chest down towards your thighs and then re-straighten your legs. Your palms should be active here, pressing into the mat. And find some movement in your downward dog here. Maybe you pedal your feet. Maybe you shake your head yes and no. Maybe you rock out your hips. What does your body need here in this downward facing dog? You're going to hold here for 3 more breaths. When you're ready, go ahead and find stillness in your pose. Inhale to gaze up towards your hands. Exhale, go ahead and step to the top of your mat. So you're stepping into a forward fold here. Forward fold isn't one of our postures for this challenge, but I love forward fold. Actually, you know what? I think it is. We just haven't done it yet. So I'm ahead of the game. So your forward fold. You can keep a micro bend in your knees if you need to. You can grab opposite elbows. You can rock from side to side. It doesn't matter if you can reach your toes or not. Everybody thinks forward fold is for the hamstrings. It can be. It's mostly for your lower back. So as long as you're feeling that release in your low back, that's what we're here for. Go ahead and bring your hands to your shins. Inhale for a halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, go ahead and roll all the way up 1 vertebrae at a time until you come all the way to standing. So this is our mountain pose, another pose on the list. I'm going to turn to face you guys. So your mountain pose, your feet are hips distance apart. Your hands can come out to the side, active fingers, taking in a bunch of energy and grounding through the feet. Your core is engaged. Take a moment to check in with your posture here. Is your booty sticking out? If not, we want to tuck that pelvis. Imagine that someone is taking a string and pulling you from the top of your head. So you're keeping that spine nice and straight. You can always bring your hands to heart center. And close your eyes here. Again, bringing it back to the breath, back to the present. Set an intention for your class. My intention is to listen to your body, to feel gratitude for your body for coming to your mat today. And not attaching judgment. If you can't do something, you can't do something. That's okay. We all have different bodies, we all have different limits, we all have different capabilities, and that's fine. We're going to take a couple of little mini sun salutations here. So when you're ready, go ahead and inhale your arms up overhead like a big morning stretch, stretching up to the sky or the ceiling. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale for a halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way back up to your mountain pose. And exhale your hands to your heart center. We're going to do that 2 more times. Go ahead and inhale your arms up. Exhale, take a fold. Inhale for your halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to standing. And exhale your hands to your heart center. Now I want you to take this next one on your own breath. Don't listen to me, you know how it goes. Close your eyes, just flow. We'll start whenever you're ready. We'll meet back in our standing posture. So we're going to add on to this little flow here. We're going to add on our high plank. So that's another one of our poses for bend your bod. So when you're ready, go ahead and inhale your arms up. Exhale, take that fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, fold. Now this time when we fold, we're gonna plant our hands and you're gonna step back to your high plank pose. Now, if this is too much for you, please feel free to take your high plank from your knees. If not, we're taking it from our feet. Your feet are active, your palms are pressing into the mat. Your shoulder, elbow, wrists are all in line. Your head should be in one nice straight line with your hips. So you don't want your hips to be up here because then we're almost in downward dog. You don't want them to be down here because then we're in upward facing dog. Everything is in a nice straight line. Imagine if someone put a ruler on your back, it'd be nice and flat, nice and straight. So we're holding this high plank. Again, if you're taking it from your knees, same position, hips are in line with the head. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and exhale the hips back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, go ahead and step into that forward fold. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way back to standing. And exhale your hands to your heart center. All right, we got through our high plank. We're gonna go to our tree pose now. So you're starting from your mountain pose. We're gonna start putting all of our weight into the right leg. So you're putting all your weight into your right foot. And maybe you just start to bring this foot, your left foot up to the tippy toe. Maybe you bring it right to the inside of your calf there. If this is where you are, this is where you are. This is your tree. This is a perfectly beautiful tree. You can bring your hands to your heart center. If you want to go a little farther, I want you to focus your gaze on something that's not moving. Focusing your drishti or your gaze on something that's stable is going to help you keep your balance. You're going to really engage your core. Maybe you start to bring that foot up. Maybe it rests on your calf. You never want to rest it on a joint, so don't rest it on your knee. Maybe you can get it all the way up onto your thigh. Maybe bring your hands to heart center. You can grow branches however you like to. Take any variation that feels right for you. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can slowly go ahead and release that foot. Go ahead and shake that leg out. We'll take it to the other side. Alrighty, so we're putting all of our weight into that left foot. Maybe you come up to the tippy toes on the right. Maybe you bring it in. Maybe you focus your gaze on something that's not moving and you bring it up to your calf. Maybe you can bring it all the way up to your thigh. Maybe you grow your branches. Maybe you stay at heart center. Maybe the wind makes you wobble a little bit. That's okay. Maybe if you want to challenge your balance, close your eyes for a second. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. Shake your legs out. From here, we're going to go to our warrior 1 and our warrior 2. So another couple poses from our bend your bod. I want you to start at the top of your mat. We're going to start by stepping the left foot back. So you're stepping it back. Everybody's different. I take, I don't know, probably like a leg's length of space in between my feet. For your warrior 1, your front foot is pointed directly straight. Your back foot's kind of at like a 45. You're going to bend into that front knee, and you're going to square your hips to the front of your mat. So you always want to make sure your knee is right over your ankle. You don't want to be forward. If you're straight a little bit like this, that's okay, but the full expression of the pose, knee is over the ankle, hips are square. So you can always put your hands on your hips and kind of find, that squaring with the front of your mat. You can inhale the arms up. We're breathing here. Hold this for 3 breaths. We're going to open up to warrior 2. So it's as simple as opening up the hips. Your back foot, instead of being at a 45-degree angle, comes to be parallel with the short edge of your mat. So front foot stays parallel with the long edge of your mat. Again, keeping that bend in the knee. Our hips are open now. So they went from a closed position to open, and our arms are open. You can gaze over those front fingers. Make sure your shoulders aren't shrugged up to your ears. release them down your back. And again, we hold for 3 breaths. When you're ready, go ahead and straighten that front leg. You bring your hands to your hips. We're just going to come back to the front of our mat. We're going to take it to the other side. So this time our right foot is stepping back. Again, stepping back for that warrior 1. So our foot is at a 45-degree angle in the back there. We bend into that knee. Hips are square. And we inhale our arms up. We hold for 3 breaths. On the next inhale, we open up to our warrior 2. So again, now this back foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. Your hips are open, your arms are open. And we hold for 3 breaths. When straightening that front leg, bring your hands to your hips, and we're going to step back to the front of our mat. You can shake out your legs a little bit. All right, we're going to take it from the top, from our little vinyasa flow, a little sun salutation that we had. So from your mountain pose, inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale for a halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, fold. Go ahead and plant your hands, step it back to your high plank. And then take it back to your downward facing dog. So this is our rest. I always like to include a little bit of a rest pose to get back to your breath, get back to the present. So you can either hold your downward facing dog or you can take it to a child's pose. Either way, we're finding some rest here, we're breathing, bringing it back to our mat. So close your eyes, visualize that inhale and exhale as it goes in and out through your nose. Literally picture it in your mind and check in, how do you feel? How does your body feel? You're not attaching judgment, you're just noticing what's happening. You're just an observer. Spending about 2 or 3 more rounds of breath in your resting pose. When you're ready, if you're not in your downward facing dog, go ahead and meet us there. From your downward dog, inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, step into your forward fold. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale your arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to do similar to what we did with our warriors, except now we're going to take our warrior 3 and our half moon. If you have a block nearby, you can use that for your half moon. I'm going to use my water bottle in case I need it. But yeah, so we're starting at the top of our mat. We're going to again start with the left foot. So you're stepping the left foot back into a high crescent lunge. This lunge isn't part of our Bend Your Bod challenge, but it's a great way to get to your warrior 3 and your half moon. So high crescent, both of your feet are facing the top of your mat. This back leg is straight, back foot is active. You're bending into that knee. Again, knee is always over the ankle. And inhale your arms up here. We hold for 3 breaths. Your hips are square to the front of your mat, just like in your warrior 1. When you're ready, go ahead and bring your hands to your hips. Now we're going to start to put all of our weight into this front foot for our warrior 3. So we're putting our weight into our front foot. We're starting to shift forward. Maybe you start to scoot that back foot forward. Maybe you start to hover it. Keeping that foot flexed and engaged is going to help you keep your balance. You're really engaging your core here. You're straightening this front leg. And you start to lean. The goal here is to get the head in line with the hips. You're focusing your gaze on something that's not moving. Maybe you bring your hands to heart center. You can take airplane arms. You can extend your arms overhead. Whatever feels good. We hold for 3 breaths here in our warrior 3. Challenge yourself by doing it in the wind. when you're ready, you start to bring that right hand down to the mat. So this is where our half moon comes in. And you're opening up your hips. So where our warrior 3, our hips were turned down, now we're starting to open them to the long edge of our mat. Again, you can use a block. I'm going to demo it with my water bottle. You can use a block if you need the extra balance. See, I can't even do it. I can't use. You don't usually use props. Maybe you start to open that left arm up. You can take any variation you like here. If you like to grab the foot, you can keep your hand on your hip. 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release that foot back down to the mat. You can step back into your forward fold, shake it out. I know that was a lot on that one leg. All right, we're going to take it to the other side. So we're starting at the top of our mat. This time we're stepping the right foot back into that high crescent lunge. Woo! Wind almost took out my yoga mat, guys. Our hips are square to the front of the mat. Our knee is over our ankle. Hold here. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips. Start to put that weight into your front leg. Maybe start to scoot that back foot forward and start to tip. Flexing that back foot. Again, take any variation here with your hands that you like. Focusing your gaze on something that's not moving, really engaging the core. Now maybe you start to bring that left hand down to the mat and open up your hips. So opening up your hips to the long edge of the mat. You start to extend that arm up. Again, take any variation that you took on the other side. You can use a block if you need it. Get taken out by the wind, you know, it's fine. And when you're ready, slowly release that leg down. Come back to standing. You can shake it out. Alright guys, I promise we're almost done. We're going to come to our wide-legged forward fold here. So again, depending on your body, your stance can be wider, can be shorter. Do what works for you. Listen to your body. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale here. And exhale, just fold over your legs. Wide-legged forward fold, there's so many places to go here. You can bend in one knee, bend into the other. You can reach for your ankles. You can take twists. You can reach in between your legs. Do whatever your body needs today. You don't have to do the same thing every time. You can explore what feels good. What feels good in your body today might not feel good in your body tomorrow. Place your palms right underneath your face. Inhale for a halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale for your fold. Now we're going to take it to our side lunge posture. So we're going to start with the right leg. So you're going to bend into that knee. Maybe your side lunge is right here. This is totally okay. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you're coming all the way down. The foot should stay flat on the mat. If it comes up a little bit, that's okay, but our goal is to get the foot flat on the mat. This left leg is straight, pointing the toes, or you can flex them. Just make sure you keep that foot active. You can keep your hands on the mat if you need to. Maybe bring your hands to your heart center. Trying to keep your chest lifted. I know this is an intense one. Again, if you need to keep it just right here, that's totally fine. Just a couple more breaths here. If you'd like to take a bind, you can go there. This wind just keeps killing my vibe, but you know, it's fine. When you're ready, slowly come back up to your wide-legged forward fold. You can shake your booty out. And then we'll take it to the other side. So again, if you just come right here, this is a side lunge. Maybe you want to come a little bit deeper. And one side is always more flexible than the other. That's just the nature of the human body. So don't feel bad if one side feels different than the other. Again, keeping these feet active. And we breathe. And when you're ready, go ahead and release into your forward fold. And we're going to go ahead and start to walk the feet in to your normal forward fold. And then just bend at the knees. Take a seat on your booty. Our last intense pose is going to be a reverse plank. And then we're going to cool it down. So your reverse plank, I'm going to start with a little reverse table, like reverse crab looking thing, just because that's easier for a lot of people. Reverse plank is kind of intense. So from your sitting on your butt, your legs are going to extend out in front of you. Your hands are going to come behind you. And your fingers are actually going to be facing towards your butt. So they're not facing this way. They're not facing out to the side. Facing towards your butt. You're going to press into your palms. I like to do this little like shoulder opening thing where I kind of like scoop my shoulders open. Kind of like, it's a weird, I don't know, just let your shoulder blades more open, I think. So scooting the chest open, bringing those shoulder blades together behind you. You're going to bring your foot bottoms to the ground. You're just going to press up. This is a reverse table. So baby reverse plank. Shooting those hips up to the sky. If you want to take the full expression of the pose, your legs are going to be straight. And again, same concept. You're pressing up. Hold here for a couple more breaths. Go ahead and slowly release your butt to the mat. We're going to take it all the way to our back. We're going to do a couple poses that aren't part of the Bend Your Bod challenge, but I just want you to get your full yoga class experience, your full cool down, so come to the back. Give your knees a little hug. You can rock from side to side here. We're just going to take a couple of twists. You can bring your arms out to a T position. Go ahead and drop your knees over to the right. You can gaze over your shoulder in the opposite direction. Make sure there's no bugs crawling on you, you know. Go ahead and inhale, bring your hips back to center. Exhale, drop them over to the other side. Again, you can gaze over your shoulder in the opposite direction. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Again, give them a little hug here. Maybe rock from side to side. We're going to take a happy baby. Happy baby is one of my favorite poses. It looks kind of silly, but it's the best, I promise. You're bringing your foot bottoms up towards the ceiling or the sky. You can grab on the inside or the outside of your feet. You can grab on the back of your calves. You can grab on your thighs. Just don't grab right on your knees. And you're pulling your knees down to the ground. You can rock from side to side here. You can straighten one leg, straighten the other. You can straighten both legs, whatever feels good for you here. There's one final hip opener. Whenever you are ready, you can release. Find your Shavasana, your corpse pose. So you're taking up as much space as you need on your mat. I want you to take up space. A lot of the times we're told to stop taking up so much space. I want you to take up all the space. So your arms and legs can fall wherever they want to fall. Bring it back to your breath. Close your eyes. And just relax. This is where I will leave you in your practice today. You can get up whenever you're ready, whether it's a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just take a moment of silence. And don't get attacked by flies like I am. enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your night. Again, come out of your Shavasana whenever you're ready to. This is where I will leave you today. Thank you for participating in the Bend Your Bod Challenge. I love seeing all your guys' pictures. Please tag me if you do this video. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.